Enable.
UNESCO has been sort of leading on goal number 4, which is education. Along with our partners, there is the Climate Reality Project of Al Gore Foundation. We are coming up with a program for schools where we've got online material which will make available in different languages, in different dialects for school teachers, whereby we'll be teaching the Sustainable Development Goals and the whole concept behind it, so that the teachers throughout India, they're able to teach the children about what sustainable development is about and how they can play their role.
Hello and welcome to our special conversation as we continue to talk about hybrid ideas for India in 2030. One of the challenges that India is going to face, and it's a challenge that actually most countries across the globe are facing, is what do you do? How do you create more jobs, especially with the advent of technology, with artificial intelligence, robotics and so on and so forth. Anjan, let me ask you about your experience at Taral Tech. As somebody who's also working in the space of rural innovation, etc., what is it that we can do, and how should we approach this idea of addressing India's problems through India's solutions?
What we do is with a very, very simple reactor, we disinfect water so it becomes more or less potable, and this does not require absolutely any maintenance, no consumables, so the operating costs are absolutely nil and very, very low capital cost. So ideal for underserved areas.
Can I interrupt you and ask you a question? If it costs very little, if it can be done, if it's scalable, why is it that policymakers, government institutions, the government, politicians aren't thinking about these solutions?
I won't say that they're not thinking. We just came up with a solution just some time back, and the reception I'm getting at all places is absolutely stupendous. But let me also add that government in its own wisdom acts slightly slowly, and that's why I've taken the corporate CSR route.
Right.
We are much quicker in adopting solutions. So let's see where it goes. But ultimately, the best this thing I have got is actually from the end user. I went and fitted some of our reactors in the rural areas, and I told them that you just try it out, and I'm going to take it back after a month to see how it's working. So when I went back after a month, they said, let us try it for one more month. So again, after a month when I went back, they said, let it be, you make another one. It's working fine. So I thought, this is something.
So you said that the response has been good. I'm hoping that this product will see traction. But what is it that you would like to see, especially from civic bodies, from government institutions, to support this idea? What is the kind of facilitation that entrepreneurs like you would like?
The support which we need from the government is actually let us really go and fit it, because I'm not adding any chemicals or anything to the thing, so nothing can really go wrong. But just to get the permission that I can go and fit it in any hand pump, borewell hand pump or any pressurized line, it requires oodles of permissions. I mean, how can I go and take individual permissions all over?
No, I agree with you there. But Surinder, I'll come to you in just a second. You want to add to the table in terms of ideas that we need to work on, with a sense of urgency to be able to address some of the issues that we've talked about.
So let's what you asked earlier from there. For example, say this reactor questions. Here, why we are not able to scale up this idea? Although this invention is already there, this is just an innovation. And here basically we can say that we need institutional reforms. At present, our institutions are very inefficient. Either we take from the side of this executive sides or judiciary sides, those kind of. So that's why to implement those kind of ideas at scalable levels, we need institutional reforms, because they don't require much cost, but institutions are required. Similarly, on this issue of CSR, there we can say, as in the class we teach, there we say there are two kind of CSR, this altruistic CSR and strategic CSR. And in this, it is the strategic CSR that give push to these business ideas. And here also we need to bring this CSR in terms of the strategic CSR, because then you are concerned with your consumer, you are concerned with your investors, and then only this business will grow. And for that purpose, we need to bring in our objective functions this sense of, you can say, belongingness.
Yeah.
Belongingness toward human relations, belongingness towards this nature, then only we can say there will be a way out.
You know, one of the ideas, for instance, I know that Singapore is experimenting with to try and fast-track innovation is having a regulatory sandbox, which really pushes through innovations much faster as opposed to going through regular institutional mechanisms, which may be very, very slow. The bureaucratic process, as we all know, is slow. So, in order to fast-track innovation, what do you believe is the need of the hour?
I think what he said is very rightly true. The institutional framework is very weak. For instance, of the 50 of us sitting here, none of us are from the government. The simple fact is that most people in the government at the executive levels are not thinking ahead of the curve. In terms of anything, you look at the aggregator models, they are always trying to catch up with technology more than anything else. So that is also one other thing I would like to point out is that in the past and even now, we have a tendency in India to do exactly what is required of us. We do not want to go beyond what is necessary. So we need to also think about what is our role here and not just what the government should do. Even in terms of air pollution, we have a tendency to think of pollution as an externality. You know, the problem is created by someone else.
Yeah.
Therefore, why doesn't the government do something about it?
Yeah.
What are we doing about it?
Yeah.
So that I think is a major role will play a major role in terms of innovation.
You're absolutely right. We need to stop thinking about what the government can or cannot do and also think about what we can do. Yes, sir, go ahead.
Yes. As Palash sir was saying, what we can do, I would like to give an example. In some foreign countries, if a house is powered by a green power, that is the electricity coming into that house is from solar or from wind, then there was a symbol of green symbol in front of that house, and the people living in that house, they will take it as a compliment. They will take it as a status symbol. So I think this has to be followed in India also, which will help the air to reduce the air pollution as well as to help in the respect of environment.
Okay, that's a very good idea. Very good idea. Name and shame the offenders and actually reward and recognize those who deliver on some of these promises. Yes, I'm going to come to you. Go ahead.
After listening to all the discussion as a student and both as a listener, I'm very impressed that in our school, which is Tagore International School, Vasan Vihar, we have adopted almost all of these initiatives. For example, as we were talking about pollution, air pollution, during our Diwali celebrations, we gift smokeless diyas and other types of things. And regarding water, we have rainwater harvesting pits. We go to the shopkeepers, we tell them not to give plastic bags to the ones who come to the shop and buy it. So these are the many initiatives, and I'm very happy. So I can boast about it that our school is doing these kind of steps.
There's with good reason you should boast, and a big round of applause to you and to your school. You give us hope that we will be able to address some of these challenges. When somebody says that here's my product, it's the greenest product, it's the cleanest product, does that matter to you as a consumer? Would you buy that product because it's the greenest or the cleanest product?
Of course, I think if it comes to our mind that a product is eco-friendly or it is healthier for us also, we'll definitely buy it because we are also concerned about ourselves as well as the environment. So whenever we come across a product that is eco-friendly, we'll surely buy it because it's beneficial for us as well as the environment.
Even if it's a little more expensive than the regular product?
Sometimes, yes, sometimes.
So when would you actually make that purchase? For what product would you say it's okay to spend a little bit more?
The products that we use on our daily basis, for example, that those products that affect our health, or the products that we consume ourselves, or probably that we apply on ourselves, those kind of products, I guess we'll be surely buying them.
You'll surely buy them, and you're willing to spend a little bit of extra money on them. But Mr. Mittal, let me ask you this. We can talk about the economic prosperity that India enjoys today, and we've made great strides. As I pointed out, we're growing at over 7%. The aspiration is 8% plus and eventually double digit, and we hope that we will get there. But the point is it has to be sustainable. sometimes talking only about the GDP number also tends to cloak a lot of the dark underside. For instance, India is home to some of the most polluted cities in the world. This is something that you've been working on. The poisonous air that we breathe is going to have an impact not just on social indicators, but eventually even as far as our economic parameters are concerned. Should this now be a key priority? Does there need to be a national discourse, for instance, on being able to address pollution? It needs to move beyond just the National Green Tribunal addressing it in bits and pieces, is it not?
Pollution in Delhi or northern India is atrocious. In fact, Supreme Court only a few days ago passed an order which said that we would like to change over to Euro 4 or Bharat 4 vehicles, and they banned Euro 3 or Bharat 3 vehicles, and Euro 4 or Bharat 4 fuel was introduced from 1st April. And they clearly said that although there is a debate, a possible debate between environment and growth, but as far as the discussion between environment and health is concerned, that is not to be discussed. And it is a given that we have to have good quality air for our future generation. The important and interesting thing is that while we know that we are all walking, talking air purifiers, we breathe in 2.5, PM 2.5 and PM1s, and it settles inside us. So the joke is, if you want to solve the PM 2.5 problem, triple the population of Delhi. So you have free walking air purifiers moving around. The good part is that there are two angles. One is, of course, the health issue, and we know all about the bad points. But there is a good point, that we have learned that if you reduce the CO2 levels, your brain power improves. Harvard University, University of California have done studies and published them that your cognitive abilities can go up by as much as 299%. So if I were a young student and I really wanted to do better and get 95%, 98%, then that's what I would be doing. I would be making sure that my air quality is picture perfect in my bedroom, and that's where I spend 1/3 or 1/4 of my life. And I would sell this idea to my parents, saying that your dementia issues will come down, your blood pressure will come down, your chances of getting all kinds of sugar issues will come down. So it's good for you, good for me, it's good for everybody else. And for example, when you get onto the aircraft, the announcement is the masks will drop down. Yes. First help yourself, then help others. So if you're not bothered about yourself, you cannot help others.
When we speak about hybrid mindset, it should not just be for this week, or saying, okay, today I'm going to do this, tomorrow it doesn't matter. It needs to be an everyday sustainable effort.
Very quickly, 2 or 3 ideas that you think we need to work on as a society, as a community, as a nation.
So we talked about mindset change of people, right? So today I come to the transport sector, and currently individual's mindset is that I grow, I get a job and I get a vehicle, and then get the second vehicle and then buy a house, and then maybe multiple houses and multiple vehicles. So that's a mindset change we should bring about in people, that we should use cycles, we should use cycle rickshaws or even battery operated rickshaws.
So the emphasis on public transport. Yeah.
It's about shared mobility rather than owning the asset. Today in Delhi, the area occupied by cars for parking is actually more than the green cover of the city. And that's where all the cities are headed today. So that's a clear mindset change that we should have as individuals. And as kids and school children, they should actually make their parents take up these initiatives, and they should also look at cycling to their schools. Why should they go in a car?
We need to actually create the right infrastructure to be able to cycle to school. Unfortunately, there's, whether it's right of way, I mean, the roads are, not pedestrian friendly at all.
Yeah, so
in any city in this country.
So there are 3 components to this. One is the users. First, the mindset change in the users. The government, the mindset change in the kind of infrastructure that we provide. Yeah. Should we provide more flyovers or more buses and footpaths? So that's a change that the government should take, and the industry as well. What kind of vehicles are we giving? So when we switch over to BS4 or even electric vehicles, fuel efficient vehicles, so the industry also has to take the lead.
Okay. Yes, the little girl there. If we can get the microphone across to you.
Hi, I'm Ananya from Delhi International School. Divakar sir, I have a question for you. So do you create robots that are helpful in rural areas, or what can your robots do to to change, to have a hybrid mindset in the people living in the rural areas?
There are two basic problems that we solve by robots. One of the problem is that we increase the efficiency of the people, or we do the work that people don't want to do. Now, a good surgeon would like to stay in a tier 1 city, or maybe Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, somewhere like that. He doesn't want to go to a rural area to serve and to do surgeries over there. So here robot comes in. So you have robots. We already have robots like that coming from different parts of the world, but they are super expensive. They cost a bomb, right? Yeah. So they cannot be deployed in the rural situation. The purpose of that robot is that they can actually do surgeries way better than any other human. And along with that, they can the recovery time by that surgery by robot is also very less. But because they are very expensive, you cannot deploy them. They are expensive because they are made at some other part of the world where obviously the different types of costs they add up. So we are trying to make robots and medical facilities more accessible and take the medical facilities to the rural areas, so that if there is a robot, right, they can basically check different parameters of the humans, and along with that they can also do surgeries. The overall scope of robotics is phenomenal, but there are so many people who have super good ideas, world-changing ideas in their head, but they are not worth anything till the time they don't actually implement it. Yeah. The problem is that I faced these problems when I started my business, and it was very difficult to start business back then. I know it has been eased up right now, but then also entrepreneurs and the students who have ideas should get some sort of incubation from the government as well. Because the problems that we have right now, there are solutions which are existing, but we are not able to bring it out in the market or to put it in the scenario.
Well, I hope the young kids here are inspired by your story, Divakar, and we actually see a lot of them turn to entrepreneurship to try and address some of the problems. But the common theme here, and we've talked about environment, we've talked about transportation, we've talked about robotics, artificial intelligence, the new stream of jobs, skills development, a whole bunch of issues that we've talked about here. But the glue to all of this is actually going to be, how do we work together? How is there better alignment? How is there better communication between all stakeholders to be able to achieve the kind of goals that we've all spelt out? Who better than Anil Kumble to take us through, the ultimate team sport, which is cricket? How do you actually nurture, inculcate a sense of shared responsibility, of shared accountability, camaraderie, shared aspiration? Because at the end of the day, that's what this is about. If you've got to get 1.2 billion people to work towards one goal, you need to have tremendous team building skills.
Yeah, of course, I think everyone's spoken about the hybrid mindset, but I think what is important is the communication that you spoke about. So you don't practice just for the sake of it. You practice as though you're practicing for a match. So every practice session, you inculcate a match environment so that you're practicing for the match. And then when you're in a match situation, you're much more aware, and you're probably better skilled to handle situations. And similarly, when we speak about hybrid mindset, it should not just be for this week, or saying, okay, today I'm going to do this, tomorrow it doesn't matter. It needs to be everyday sustainable effort. I mean, we are speaking about 2030, and 2030, all these young kids will be sitting here and then talking and addressing younger kids, but it should not be the same topic. It should be saying, okay, in the last 13 years we have done all of this, and we've been able to make a impact, and also live a better life for all of us. And it's not just about 1 minute or 1 day or 2 days or a week or a month. It needs to be a sustainable mindset, and then the change has to happen in every person. And then we need to be responsible and ensure that whatever we do, every action, you have the same mindset. And that's exactly what we try and bring out in a team environment as well. So no matter what you're doing, the mindset is to win, is to constantly have that kind of a mindset. And whether you're practicing, so there is positivity there. and then that transforms, and then you get the right results.
I don't think we could have said it any better. I know there's lots of hands up, but we're out of time. So I am going to request all the students who've actually spent a lot of time and effort in making these wonderful drawings to please put them up so that our cameras can capture the wonderful work that you've all been able to do. This is their depiction of what an hybrid idea means. Hold them up, guys, so that the cameras can catch the wonderful work that you've done. A big round of applause to all the young students who've really taken the time and put in so much effort to translate your ideas into reality, at least as far as your drawing books are concerned. So that's a wrap on India Hybrid Week. We've heard a lot of new ideas, a great vision for the future from young minds, the use of robotics, technology, efficient use of natural resources, all with a great harmonization of values. Of course, a lot of work needs to be done before the hybrid mindset becomes a reality. It's been a pleasure bringing this series to you. And while we are culminating the India Hybrid Week, we've also been able to evince some interest from renowned musicians to create a special anthem for us. So we leave you with glimpses of that. Till next time, think energy, think green, think hybrid. Goodbye and thanks for watching.
Focus, ideate, innovate, enable.